Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. In the last video we just configured the OSPF authentication in this for router and also configure some OSPF traffic engineering using the OSPF cost. And in this video I'm going to configure the EIGRP in these three sites and I'm going to use the authentication in the EIGRP. As you know, we have two types of EIGRP, the EIGRP Classic mode and the EIGRP Named mode. There is some difference between these two, and EIGRP Named mode is advanced, and also it's supporting the two different authentication. Actually, in EIGRP Classic mode, only support authentication with MD5 encryption, but EIGRP named mode also support the authentication with MD5 and also authentication with HMAC. First, let me explain a little bit about the EIGRP. As Cisco says that the EIGRP is a link state protocol, but it also adds some feature of distance vector protocol, and because of that we can assume this protocol as a hybrid protocol. For that we say the EIGRP some specification of the distance vector protocol because it's using the concept of distance vector protocol to find the best path, and also it's link state because it's maintaining a topology table to find the best path for the route. And also the EIGRP using the dual algorithm, diffusing update algorithm, and this diffusing updating algorithm helps the EIGRP to find the best path with loop free. And also EIGRP sending some partial updates, and we can say that EIGRP is very fast convergence, and all this specification is the specification of the link state protocol. Before going to, I don't want to go to the detail, but you can see this picture that currently I find it in the internet, and it's showing the you can see that the first router, for example router 1, sending the hello packet to router 2, and router 2 in response send the hello packet and also the update of the routing table, and then router 1 again send the acknowledgement and also send the update to router 2, and then these two router will become neighbor. Just a simple diagram, and it shows all the process from starting to end, and I believe this details in enough, but if we go to inside of this, it's a little bit complicated. It's using the class E IP address, and it's 224.0.0.10, sending this information to this multicast destination address, and in the other side that the router will understand that this is the EIGRP packet and responds back if the EIGRP be configured in the other side. Okay, for now let's start configuration of EIGRP in site 1. I'm going to configure the EIGRP Classic mode on site 1 and name mode on site 2. For enabling the EIGRP, it's like OSPF EIGRP 1, and it's like OSPF. We can give a network ID for that, the router ID EIGRP router ID 10 10 10 101, and then network 192.168.0.0 with please notice that EIGRP using the wildcard mask for network instead of the subnet mask. In this case, actually we have 192.168.1 for site 1, and also we have 192.168.5 for VLAN 11 link between the switch 1 and R10, and because of that I'm just using this class 2 of the IP class B of the IP address in the network 00255.255. And also let's add the loopback IP also to maybe later to test our network, our convergence. Okay, the configuration is just this, finish, and let's go to R10, router EIGRP1. Please notice that the autonomous system 1 is selected in that side. It should be also the same in this router also. Router EIGRP1 and EIGRP router ID 10 10 10 10, and then network 192.168.0.0 and 255.255, and network 10 10 10 10. Okay, you can see that the algorithm is just come up, and the agency is now up. Okay, let's check our neighbor. Do show IP EIGRP1 neighbor. You can see that we have a neighbor with router with the switch 1. Okay, let's enable authentication in the EIGRP. Authentication actually it's like OSPF, the authentication in the classic mode. It's going to be configured inside the interface. For that we are in R10, and let's go to interface 01. For this we have a command of IP authentication. We can select the mode. You can see EIGRP1, you can see that we have the only MD5 mode as a authentication mode, and in the next configuration you will see that we also have the option of the HMAC. For now we just configure the authentication mode, and we need to also configure the keychain IP authentication mode EIGRP1. EIGRP1 and MD5 of the authentication keychain. Let's give a EIGRP1 and the key name. Let's give a key name like EIGRP underscore key. Okay, the authentication is configured, but we don't have any keychain still. Let's create a keychain. Keychain EIGRP key and key ID 1 and key string, for example Cisco. Okay, now the configuration for authentication is complete in R10. As we don't have any authentication here, you can see that the interface is down, and also authentication failure. Let's go to interface VLAN 11 and IP authentication. And let's in this one first enable the keychain and EIGRP1, and the key is EIGRP key, and also IP authentication mode EIGRP1, and let's select the mode MD5. Okay, the authentication is done in the interface. Now we need to configure the keychain. Okay, keychain EIGRP key and the key ID 1 and the key string Cisco. Now we should see the agency. Yes, the agencies pop up, and now we again become neighbor. Show IP EIGRP1 neighbor. You can see that we are neighbor here, and if I check the routing table of R10, show IP route EIGRP, you can see that we have the VLAN 10 route here. We already have VLAN 20 also, but I believe the VLAN 20 is down because there is no port assignment for that VLAN. Show IP interface brief. Yes, the VLAN 20 is down, but VLAN 10 is up, and we receive the route here, and also we receive the route of loopback 0 in this. Let's ping this loopback 10.10.101 successfully. Ping the other side. Okay, the configuration. Let's finish the configuration of this side. In the future, I'm going to configure this core network. Actually, it's the MPLS and BGP VPN v4, and we need to make some redistribution between EIGRP and BGP between these two routers. In that video, we can speak more about redistribution of EIGRP and BGP. But now, let's configure the site 2 and use the EIGRP named mode for this site. Router EIGRP, we have two options. If I give an autonomous number, and it will be classic mode, and if I select a name for that, for example site 2, then we are in the EIGRP name mode. Here we need to again create an autonomous system number. Address family IPv4 autonomous system 1, and then network command 192.168.0.0 with 0.0.255.255, and the network and 10.10.10.102 0.0.0.0. Okay, now we just finish the configuration in this site. Let's do the same in R11. Let me bring this one on top. Enable Cisco quantity router EIGRP site 1. Please notice that it doesn't matter which name I select in any router, but the important is selecting the autonomous system number. Address family IPv4 autonomous system 1, and the network 192.168.0.0 with 0.0.255.255, and the network 10.10.10.11. Now the dual agency again come up. Okay, let's configure the EIGRP authentication in the named mode. Actually, in the named mode, as I said, it has some small difference between the classic and named mode. I believe named mode is a little bit net in compared to that, because we can do all the configuration inside the EIGRP process. And for that, we need to select AF interface. You can see we can configure the interface inside the EIGRP process. For this, we have some options here. For example, if I select the AF interface default, it means the authentication will occur in all interfaces inside this router, and also I can select the specific interface. For example, here in router 11, we are in interface E01. AF interface E01. Now I can use the authentication here. Authentication command, and again mode. In the mode, you can see that we have two types of the authentication algorithm, the MD5 and HMAC. We just select the MD5 in that side. Let's select the HMAC and SHA-256. And we need to give a password. For this, actually, the HMAC SHA, it's an algorithm. Let me explain some about this. It's a stand for hash-based message authentication code, and currently it's the most secure authentication, and it's used in very high-level security devices, and also Cisco using this. In the time that I'm recording this video, I didn't receive any report. I didn't read any report about hacking of this authentication. Actually, this authentication can receive any length of string and convert it to a fixed size 32 byte or 256-bit output of a hash. And let's not speak in more detail about the different authentication, but it's as I said, it's one of the most secure algorithm that is available now. Let's do the same configuration in this. Now you see this agencies go down because of authentication. This is required in the other side, and let's go to AF interface VLAN 11 and authentication. Here we can select mode, HMAC, and the key of Cisco. Okay, actually this is very straightforward configuration, because we just do this configuration inside the interface, and we don't need to create any keychain or any or go out and create for example, do this authentication inside the interface. Let's see, the agency should come up. Let me see. We just I just entered the wrong password, Cisco. Yes, and now the dual agencies come up and the authentication starts. Actually, if you can see here, we have in authentication, we have option of keychain, and if we use this, we can actually have one extra authentication level for this. And okay, let's do it. There is no nothing that can stop us from doing this authentication keychain, and let's do it with key name of EIGRP key. If I enable this, the neighbor will go down because we don't have any keychain authentication in other side, and also we don't have any key configuration, any key creation in the router. Let's do this here. authentication keychain EIGRP key. And let me tell you that when we enable this authentication with keychain, actually the mode is by default should be HMAC, because we use the authentication mode here as a HMAC. Let's create a keychain here. Keychain name is EIGRP key, and key ID 1 and key string Cisco. Let's do the same here. Keychain EIGRP key 1 and key string Cisco. Okay, now yes, the dual agency again come up, and now we have authentication in the EIGRP named node inside too. Let's ping 10 10 10 11, and this is the loopback address of router 11, and we successfully ping this. Okay, in the side tree, I'm going to show you that we can use a mix of the EIGRP name mode and also EIGRP Classic mode to make a EIGRP agency and also the authentication. For that, I'm going to configure the EIGRP Classic mode in switch 3 and EIGRP name mode in R12. Let's start with switch 3. Router EIGRP1 and router IDs, EIGRP router ID, router ID 10 10 10 103, and the network 192.168.0.0, and also the loopback. Okay, the authentication classic mode is enabled in the switch 3. Let's enable the the name mode in the EIGRP in the router 12. So conft router EIGRP site 3 as formerly IPv4 autonomous system 1. The only important thing here in this configuration is the autonomous system number, that we select one here and should be same in the other side. And now let's EIGRP router ID 10 10 10 12, and let's have the network 192.168.0.0, and also network 10.12. You can see that the dual agency come up, and now we should be able to ping the other side 10 10 10 103. Yes, we can ping. Now we need to enable the authentication. Actually, one thing we should take in mind, because we are using the EIGRP Classic mode in the other side, we only have the option of MD5 authentication. Even we have the HVAC here, but because it's not supported in the other side, we cannot use that authentication. For this, let's first create a keychain EIGRP key, and key ID 1 and key string Cisco. Key is created. Let's go to the interface VLAN 11 and IP authentication mode EIGRP1, and it should be MD5, and IP authentication. You see that the neighbor is down because of the authentication mode that is enabled in that side. And IP authentication keychain EIGRP1, and the key name is the EIGRP key. Okay, as we are using the MD5 and we are using the keychain authentication here, let's do it here. AF interface E01 into authentication mode. In the mode we have to select the MD5 and the key should be Cisco MD5. Yes, in the MD5 we need to create the keychain. Now let's go and create the keychain. Keychain EIGRP key with key1 and key string Cisco. Go right here and write the configuration here. Okay, we need to enable the keychain authentication in the AF interface base. This was the mode, and then authentication keychain EIGRP underscore key. Now these two routers should be neighbor again, and yes, the addresses come up, and let's ping to other side. Let's ping the loopback 103. You can see that the authentication works, and now we are the neighbor, and we can ping the other side. Okay, our configuration of EIGRP is finished here. I don't know if there is any other information that is required to I give you guys, but you can find all this information in the Cisco documentation, because the EIGRP is a Cisco protocol, and it's introduced by Cisco, and it's available in all Cisco devices, and because of that the Cisco has a complete documentation of implementation and the functionality of the EIGRP protocol. You can find that in the Cisco documentation. And then let's finish our video. In the next video I'm going to configure the OSPF, but I'm not going to record the OSPF configuration here, because we already saw the OSPF configuration with detail in this site. I'm going to configure that, the OSPF, then we'll come back and configure the MPLS and BGP in the core network. Okay, thank you for your watching, and see you in the next video.